This is what's great about sports. This is what the greatest thing about sports is. You play to win the game. Hello? You play to win the game.
Winning isn't everything, but it's the only thing. In our business, there is no second place. Either you're first or you're last.
Ain't this what they've been waiting for? You ready?
And now, the W with Walls and the crew.
Good morning.
Where winning isn't everything, it's the only thing. On 100.1 FM.
Good morning.
And Facebook Live.
Good morning, good morning. Right back like we never left. Another Saturday morning with the W Show Kansas City, talking sports and pop culture. You're listening to the W Show on 100.1 FM, 1 Kansas City Radio. Watching us live on one of our social media pages. If this is your first time checking us out, we greatly appreciate it. Thank you for making us a part of your day. My name is Steve Walls, and as the one of the hosts of the show, as always, each and every week, I'm joined by the other hosts of the show, Noel and Jazz. Good morning.
Good morning.
How is everyone this morning?
Doing well.
Jazz, how are you?
Good. I'm a little bit tired. I think it's the weather kind of getting cold, making me want to stay inside and stay bundled up. I don't know.
Good morning. How are you, man?
Good, man. Good. Getting ready for a gig, you know?
Oh, yeah, man. It's that time of the year. Everyone's, they're having stuff inside. Nothing's outside anymore since the Jack Frost has showed up to our doors each and every morning.
Jack Frost.
Definitely has.
Not quite.
You don't know about Jack Frost? No? Come on, man.
It ain't. I'm saying it hasn't quite happened yet. It's on its way, though.
He knocked on my door. When was it? Wednesday morning or Thursday morning? I was like, oh, not today, Mr. Frost, sir.
I want no parts.
All right, coming up on today's show, the Kansas City Chiefs took care of business on the road last Sunday afternoon. We'll give our thoughts on the win versus the Washington football team and discuss tomorrow's game against King Henry and the Titans. The NBA is back. The NBA opening night took place earlier this week. Some teams like the Milwaukee Bucks look like they're back, like they never left. They won the championship last season and they look great. While the Lakers are seen fighting amongst themselves on the sidelines, we will definitely discuss that. And Seahawks wide receiver DK Metcalf, he's into it with the back and forth with tight end Shannon Sharp on Twitter. What's going on with him? We'll see what they had to say. And coming up in about 30 minutes, we'll get to our sneakers of the week. Let's get to our headlines.
And now, here are the biggest sports headlines from this week. We bring them to you every Saturday morning on the W with Walls and the Crew on 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
The Kansas City Chiefs took care of business on the road last Sunday afternoon out in D.C., defeating the Washington football team 31-13. Patrick Mahomes went 32 for 47, 397 yards, 2 touchdowns. Are the Chiefs back as the best team in the NFL?
No.
No.
Wow. That was cool.
No, sir, at all.
No.
I would say they are not back at the top of the NFL. They are merely competent at the moment. I would say that really, if we're being truthful about this Chiefs team, they really have just one huge problem, and that's turnovers. You simply cannot score the football or in any sport if you don't have the ball. And they keep seeming to give the ball away in the most inopportune moments that we seen last week. They had 3 turnovers in the first half against a Washington football team whose trademark was their defense. Frankly, their defense hasn't really come to play this year. So even against mediocre teams, it seems like the Chiefs continue to turn the ball over. And I honestly, it's 5 games in. Is this really who the Chiefs are going to be as a team? Are they the turnover team? They have a high ceiling offensively, obviously, but are they the team that, we turn the ball over a lot? And I don't think they are, but again, we're 5 games in. 6 games in now, and they just seem to turn the ball over against everybody. So it seems like a quick and easy fix, but are they going to do it?
I don't think it's a quick and easy fix for them. It's defense. On top of them turning the ball over, defense can't stop the opposing team. So that I think that's their most glaring issue is defense, and then not getting the takeaways that they normally would get from Tyron being in the right spot, from getting pressure from the quarterback. But no, they're not even the best team in the AFC West. They're tied for last place right now, 6 games in, week 6. So they would have to make a real turnaround, and they're in one of the toughest parts of their schedule right now.
I was going to say that too.
Now that we got all that out the way. The answer to your question, Jazz, yes, I think they're still the best team in the NFL. When you look at the way that this team is played, right? The only team that flat out beat the Chiefs was the Buffalo Bills. When you look at how they played against the two other games that they lost, were the Chargers and also the Baltimore Ravens. The Chiefs had those turnovers in those games, but they basically beat themselves. And then you look at the game last week, they go into Washington 2-3, and they had 2 early turnovers in the first half, and it was like they're still in the game. They're only down 3. Now, granted, I know people that say, "Oh, well, it's Washington." Their offense behind Tyler Heineke is like, you're gonna be able to go out there and do whatever you want to do. However, it's still any given Sunday. The team that makes, if there's any other team in the league that makes 2 turnovers, 3 turnovers, costly turnovers against another team, professional sports team, they wouldn't come out looking victorious, right? You see Darrell Williams had 21 carries, 62 yards, 2 touchdowns in for a hobbled Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I just feel like this team right now, and I know they've had their defensive struggles, but last week, I mean, it seemed like they're heading in the right direction. So
Of course.
when you look at this team overall, I feel like they're still quarterbacked by the best quarterback in the league.
They,
that doesn't mean much.
As long as you have Patrick Mahomes at the helm, they're always going to be in the fight.
I agree with that 1,000%. It's just he's got to start doing his defense some favors. He's got to start doing them some favors because we all know when it comes to football, your defense, they get tired if they're on the field constantly because you're turning the ball over. And if they're not already the greatest unit to begin with, Patrick just has to do his defense some favors. And I know the interceptions are bouncing off the wide receiver's hands. We're getting, fumbles off running backs, wide receivers. It's kind of a tough stretch. I'm not gonna go with, well, this is who they are as a team, because I really, in my heart of hearts, don't think that. But they've got to do better because right now we got Tennessee coming up, we got Green Bay coming up, we got Dallas coming up. Those are dynamic offenses. The defense is gonna be challenged, and those you can't get away with those turnovers against them versus a Washington football team. So that just has to change first, I feel like.
Yeah, but the thing about it is when you like you said, you have to keep your defense off the field. But the defense, if you look at the games versus, let's just talk about Baltimore and the Chargers, the Chiefs always defer, right? And then if they give you a 3 and out, they're expecting your offense, which 9 times out of 10, your offense is going to be able to come out, march the ball down the field, 5 to 7 plays and score a touchdown. But if you're not able to do that, and then you put your defense back on the field, I mean, they've given you the ball back. And I believe it was the Chargers game where they gave you the ball back twice, and you still weren't able to score. I think they kicked the field goal early in that first quarter. So a lot of it is pressure up front, getting after the quarterback, which is, when you compare this team to 2018 Chiefs defense, that defense was able to get after the quarterback. This defense is having a little struggles, but I think with the rushes from Frank Clark last week and this week, you'll have 10 of your 11 starters for the first time this season that's going to be on the field at the same time with Travis Ward and Chris Jones coming back. So I think this week you'll be able to see what they're able to do.
They had better, because that man is coming. That grown man, that 6'4", 250 man is coming.
Of course,
and he's
sorry, Q, go ahead.
No, go ahead. We can move on.
Of course, they're headed to Nashville today for tomorrow's matchup against the Titans. Will the Titans running back Derrick Henry be too much for the Chiefs?
No, yes. Talked about that man.
Yes,
he is that man. He is that man. I don't think he's gonna be too much, because when it comes to a running attack, you kind of have to get ahead early in order for it to be really, really effective, because then you run the ball control, you keep it away from the other offense. But the Chiefs' offense is explosive, so it's kind of a two-sided thing. It's like, if the Chiefs get ahead early, what kind of running attack that running attack is slow. We know how it goes. It's slow. It's 6-yard gains. It's 4-yard gains. It's in those increments. Whereas a Chiefs passing attack, it's chunks. It's 20 yards. It's 30 yards. So what's going to have to happen is the Titans, I think the onus is on the Titans to get ahead of the Chiefs. They just have to, because if they don't, it might be a long day, even though they are a good football team. They're a great football team. They just beat the Bills last week with that vaunted rushing attack. Tannehill isn't a bad quarterback at all. He's not a bad quarterback. He's not one of those guys that just stands in the pocket. He's able to move. I wouldn't call him all the way dynamic as some of the elite quarterbacks, but he's not just going to stand there. So he can make plays as well. But it's going to have to be the Titans are going to have to attack this game. They're going to have to really attack this game because the Chiefs can get back in it at any moment. Even though they're turning the ball over currently, I mean, it doesn't take nothing but a 75-yard Tyreek Hill touchdown for them to be back in the game and have the momentum. So it's going to be interesting to see.
And it's going to take a lot. It's going to take a lot more than that for the Chiefs to beat them. I don't think the Titans' run game is slow. I asked the Buffalo Bills on Monday night when they gave up 2 very long runs, to put the Titans in the game. Derrick Henry can break at any time. And then you look at 2 very big physical wide receivers in Julio Jones and A.J. Brown. So again, who on the Chiefs secondary is going to be able to stop any of those 3 guys? And then you look at a lot of the different pieces that they have around, and the Titans defense is probably a step or 2 up above the Washington defense. So the Chiefs are really going to have a hard time on Sunday. And is this, correct me if I'm wrong, is this on the road, Steve?
Yes, it's in Nashville.
It's a game in Nashville. So you have to. You also are the away team, and the way it's looking right now, the more superior team is the home team. So the Chiefs, 1, have to come in and stop Derrick Henry, and then 2, Patrick Mahomes is gonna have to play Superman, and I'm not sure how he's gonna do that. He can probably prove me wrong, but right now at this point in the season, them being, are they 500 or 1 game above 500? I think it's 500. Yeah, so they're 500. And the Chiefs are gonna have to come out and fight, and we haven't seen that fight in them this year.
Here's the thing about going and playing Derrick Henry. They have his number, right? You look at that 2019 season when Frank Clark was talking to James Palmer, not talking, was basically yelling at James Palmer. Post game going into that playoff game against Tennessee, and he wrote a check that the Chiefs had to cash, right? He basically said, we're not going to let Derrick Henry get off, in more words than one. So I think Derrick Henry, 1, it has remembered that, and 2, this Chiefs defense knows what they're up against. They know. We talked to Juan Thornhill earlier this week. We also talked to a couple of other Chiefs defenders, and they've all said the same thing. We've got to kill the motor, which is take out his legs. We've got to get to him early. We've got to corral the football. So they understand, and I think this is a perfect week to move Chris Jones back inside because we know what Derrick Henry wants to do. We know what the Titans want to do. Their strength is when you're able to pitch the ball, whether it's going to the left side or the right side, to Derrick Henry and let him run outside, and he'll give you that old stiff arm going to the left or the right sideline. That's just their MO. But like you said, Q, AJ Brown and Julio Jones, you have to worry about them as well. So I think the Chiefs, as far as from an offensive standpoint, they're going to have to show up. Now, here it is. I think that the Chiefs defense, they're okay. Of course, they're ranked, 30, 31, almost last in the league.
That's less than okay.
As far as takeaways. However, you've got the highest paid players on your defense, so you've got to step up. And on paper, they all look good. On paper, they're supposed to be playing better than what they're playing. So on any given Sunday, I think it'll turn around. But on the flip side of that, Tennessee's defense is horrible. They can't guard me or Q or Jazz, right? So they're going to have to stop this Chiefs air attack and also a confident Darrell Williams.
What's the Titans defense ranked right now opposed to the Chiefs?
Trash.
So that must mean higher than 30.
What we can say is we're going to see a game in the 30s at the very, very least, and up on into that, because neither team has a great defense.
Yeah.
We're just going to have to come down to those turnovers. The Chiefs have been turning the ball over. Tennessee, not so much. And as we saw last week, the Bills, they lost to the Titans. And what happened when the Chiefs played the Bills? So we can kind of use that.
We cannot use
professional
that.
math.
Does not work.
We can use that unprofessional
process of
math.
elimination does not work in sports.
I'm not saying it does. I'm just saying you can use that as a precursor as to what you think might happen in this game.
No, we only use that for the Chiefs. Like, it's only when the Chiefs beat teams. You forget to show.
Oh man,
I beat you and you lost to you, so therefore we should be both. No, that don't work.
Should be able. I mean,
Chiefs fans do that, Steve. So let's.
They do it often.
No, that's only KU fans.
Listen, this is what I think. I think this is a gimme. This is a gimme for the Chiefs' confidence. This is a gimme just as far as standings go. This is a gimme because you're running into, like I said, you're running into Green Bay. You're about to run into Dallas, a tough Raiders team that isn't sorry. This isn't just a regular, oh, they're sorry, they play us. They're going to play us tough. This is a good Raiders team. So, like, this is a tough part of the schedule, like Q said. So this is a gimme almost, because going forward, it gets tougher. So you're running into the Bengals, I believe, also here soon. So, like, listen, the Bengals are 4-2. Like, this isn't your 2015 Bengals. These are the 20.
First of all, the Chiefs don't play the Bengals.
They don't play the Bengals.
No. Second of all, you just use process of elimination to talk about the Chiefs or the Buffalo Bills.
I didn't use it. I didn't use it. I said you can use that. You can use it.
So everything you said after that, I didn't quite come through clearly on my headphones.
All right, you got it, man. You got it. Well, I'm mistaken. They don't play the Bengals, but this is a tough part of the schedule.
Now, NBA had opening night. The Warriors rallied past the Lakers while Bucks take care of the Nets. The season continued on Wednesday night with a number of remarkable games, including the Knicks' double overtime win over the Boston Celtics and Charlotte Hornets' 23-point comeback to take down the Indiana Pacers. Noah, we'll start with you.
This is my favorite part of the year. We get the NBA, we get NFL, and we get a little bit of postseason baseball. But I feel like we should talk about the Lakers because it's looking ugly right now. We got infighting, we got 30-point losses at home, we got Russell Westbrook not looking so good. It's looking bad for the Lakers. Steve, I need you to tell me how you really feel about this start from your Lakers.
Here's the thing. I didn't expect them to come out and just be rock stars and know how to play together. I didn't expect that, especially because you have two ball dominant guys in LeBron and Russell Westbrook who haven't quite figured it out. I think when you add Melo in there in the mix, that's instant offense. I feel like Frank Vogel has to figure out a way that he's able to intertwine these guys and help them play well. Because when you have guys on that don't really quite know their role, which Dwight Howard, which I think Rajon Rondo knows his role. Like, he knows when he comes in, they need instant defense. They need him to command the floor, run the show. But I really don't think that Dwight Howard understands what his role is on this team. It's going to have to come from leadership. It's going to have to come from LeBron. Anthony Davis has to show that he's a leader of this team. He really does. When you have a guy that's going to do that to one of your leaders on the team, on the sideline, meaning Anthony Davis and Dwight Howard, their little spat that they had, and we really don't know what it stemmed from, but I feel like you can't have that. You got to show him that, hey, this is our team, or this is my team, meaning LeBron. And we didn't really see that from LeBron. We didn't really see him go over to the sideline and say, hey, we can't have this. We haven't had this since I've been here. I haven't had this on any of my teams, and we're not going to start it today. And I think that's what Dwight Howard brings to any team. I mean, he brings a lot of that rambunctiousness, before it was being childish, but now I think he brings it, and you see it when he plays against other teams. You see he just doesn't quite have it, right? He'll show it out on the floor. So I feel like it's still early for this Lakers team. They'll learn to play together, and Russell Westbrook just has to learn how to go get his. He's done it on other teams, but when you get to play with LeBron, and this is the thing I talk about all the time, is when guys go out and play with LeBron, whether it's in Cleveland or whether it's in LA or Miami, they become jump shooters.
That ain't on Russ' plate. He
Exactly.
has to figure something else out.
Exactly. He can't sit out there because his strength is not shooting 3-pointers. His strength is attacking a basket, getting rebounds, and being aggressive. So you can't sit around and stand outside and watch LeBron dribble the basketball. That's not going to work.
Yeah.
Now, DK Metcalf gets into Twitter spat with Shannon Sharp over fourth quarter fumble. Let's start with the video of what happened on the play.
They bring 5. Smith throws sideline. It's caught by Metcalf, who lost the football, and it's recovered by Swain. Inbounds with the clock running and no timeouts. And they scramble to kill it. Down to 3 and 2. They line up with 1. The clock in the stadium goes.
Yeah, that ended not the way that DK Metcalf wanted to. He should have got out of bounds.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what Shannon Sharp was saying. It's like when you look at what he said on Twitter, he said, "What was DK thinking? Why try to play the hero in that situation?" So DK came back at him and said, "Stop questioning me, little boy," with a crying face emoji. Then Shannon Sharp came back and said, "Nothing to question. That was just dumb play, and pride won't let you admit it. You can't question anything I've done." So they went back and forth, right? But the thing about it is, DK came to his senses and finally said, "You know what? You're right, Shannon Sharp. I do pray my resume can catch up to yours. Work in progress, baby." So somebody came and told him.
Well, and it might have been Google. It might have been Google that told him. He was on his phone tweeting all that. So he probably just got on Google and he saw that.
or the Denver what the Denver Broncos said as they were trolling. He said, heard someone was looking for Shannon Sharp's resume. No,
definitely. So you look at that and you see that. And DK Metcalf is in his 4th year, I think it is. He's probably his 4th or 5th year. And he's not even close to that. Somebody, I don't think anybody tapped his shoulder. I think he put a tweet out and then he got on Google and he saw that first wiki page and just decided to withdraw his comments. He waited too late to do that.
I don't get it how you don't know, because I mean everybody know who Unc is. Everybody knows who Shannon Sharp is. I don't care really who you are. If you're in the sports world, he's talked about you. He's loud. He's a character. Everybody knows who he is, but he's that way because he played the game. Like, he has that knowledge because he played the game. Like, I don't understand how you just don't know your history. Like, it makes you almost feel like he was just trying to just start something. Like, he was just trying to start some drama for no reason.
Yeah, I think he knows. I really believe he knows who Shannon. Nobody. Here's the deal: you play a professional sport, you know who guys are that come before you, especially a guy like Shannon Sharp, who's on TV, who's on one of the top sports shows. So, and before you go, Q, I think DK is just one of those guys that are just like, how you get like your little nephew or your niece. It's like, man, I can beat you. I can beat you. Like, they don't care who you are or what you've done. Like, I mean, Q, you got a nephew or somebody that's like, man, I can DJ better than you, Uncle Q. So you just got those guys, those kids that just don't know any better.
That's tough.
I think DK is that. I think DK is a kid that doesn't know any better. He's that kid. He's not sitting around looking at stats. He's not sitting around looking at old NFL highlights. He's a young man that is very tall, very strong, and he's not sitting in the house looking at old NFL highlights in history. You probably ask him who Tom Jackson is, and he's probably seen Tom Jackson on ESPN 100 times. I'm sure he doesn't know who Tom Jackson plays for. He probably barely know who Teddy Bruschi is. He probably doesn't know any of the guys on CBS, like outside of Ray Lewis.
Clearly. So I'm not expecting him to know Shannon Sharp's resume. He just probably knows Shannon Sharp is an old NFL player until he actually looked at that resume. And then seeing that him and his brother Sterling Sharp are very exceptional football players. So, yeah, he had a misstep. His pride got in the way, and he thought he was going to talk his way out of it and made himself look foolish.
We should hit the "you big dummy" button right now.
I got you, Jazz.
You big dummy.
It was definitely that. But he cleaned it up. So props to him.
Yeah.
Now, Chicago brings home its first WNBA championship trophy. Candace Parker's brought that home with the culmination of a personal goal today. For sure.
Yeah, no, that was great. That was I would just like to shout out everybody who actually this year watched the WNBA, paid attention, like kept up with it, including myself. I really do think that this was a coming out year for the WNBA, and it was great. Like I was having, conversations with people just randomly about the NBA, like I was talking about the NBA. So it was really dope, man. It was really dope. I mean, a couple years ago, people were saying Candace Parker was washed. She was, she didn't have it anymore. They kind of, shipped her off to Chicago, but she came out with the, came and got the chip. So it was really dope. This was a dope season. So I hope more people continue to watch.
Yeah, and I like a lot of the marketing they put behind the season. You could tell that there was a lot better push. You look at really in the early season, a lot of the outfits, the walk into the stadium type of marketing that each team did, really showing the different personalities that a lot of women that are playing, and then a lot more of the players got more active on social media. When you look at just everyday day to day, when it comes to Twitter, when it comes to Instagram, and I think that focus needs to be pushed more on them. I wish I could say I was one of those that really kept up with the season, but I think for the looking forward to the future, I think the WNBA can definitely be one of those organizations as a whole, a league as a whole, that can really wake people up to women's sports in general.
I would agree with you, Q. We see, and I think when you look at the like the NCAA, right? When they had the March Madness tournament, the disparity between the men and the women, I think that helped push women's basketball as a whole. From high school all the way up to the WNBA, and now you see a lot of the marketing, whether it be NCAA, whether it be the WNBA, they're pushing to highlight these women that are playing basketball. And I think it's a great deal if they're going to put some money behind it. But I also feel like it starts with the NBA players too. The guys like Kevin Durant, the Chris Pauls, the guys that are influencers, to the community, to the sport. So them showing up to games, those guys wearing, the WNBA players' jerseys, the T-shirts, all that stuff, I think it helps. And that's what really is pushing the WNBA forward. And sponsorship-wise, as long as those guys keep doing that, and you'll see a Chris Paul wearing a Candace Parker jersey or something like that, and you see the sponsor logo on there. And so if they feel like, all right, if we're going to get Candace Parker and these guys are going to wear our jerseys and we're going to be able to, our logo is going to be able to be shown, we're going to spend some more money next year. So I think if those guys can continue to do stuff like that, it'll push the game a lot more forward.
Definitely.
I definitely think it's a domino effect, but I love to see the more attention being brought to that. And I think it really starts with us too, like not just the influencers, like other people pushing it, fans pushing it, and getting more involved. So we're making sure that there's not a huge difference in the amount of fans that are in those stadiums too, not just the support and the backing sponsors.
Of course.
Well, we're going to take a quick break. Coming up, we'll discuss Major League Baseball. Two required teams to provide housing for minor league players starting in 2022. This is the W Show. We'll be right back.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Come spin with us, Kansas City. KC We Spin 360 is the coolest 360 video spinner experience for events. KC We Spin 360 is taking it to the next level. The 360 video spinner platform rental will be the life of the party. Everyone will be talking about their 360 video experience while bragging about it on their social media pages. The captivating slow motion and reverse effects will have your guests feeling like celebrities. The KC We Spin 360 video spinner can capture slow-mo videos, GIFs, and boomerangs from every angle. Specializing in corporate events, weddings, social gatherings, bar bat mitzvahs, school events, and fundraisers, KC We Spin 360 can be found online at kcwespin360.com. Come spin with us, Kansas City.
Don't be depressed, frustrated, or stressed because of the loss of a loved one. Golden Gate Funeral and Cremation Services is here to assist you with a smooth, stress-free transition. It doesn't matter how your loved one transitioned, we will offer you a memorable celebration to your liking. We are a family-friendly, full-service funeral home right here in the heart of the city, offering affordable cremations and package pricing and quality service. Call us when you need us. 816-231-GATE. That's 816-231-4283. There's only one Golden Gate, located at 2800 East 18th Street, Kansas City, Missouri. Exchanging your grief for a golden experience.
Tuned into the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning is everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Remember to interact with our show. Use hashtag talk about it. Discuss, talk about whatever topic you want. So Major League Baseball is to require teams to provide housing for minor league players starting in 2022. Amid pressure from players and advocacy groups, Major League Baseball said on Sunday it will require teams to provide housing for the minor league players starting next season. Steve, your thoughts?
Go ahead.
I feel like this is a good deal because we hear about we know guys, friends of the show that had to be roommates, right? That were in the system have to be roommates, and so when you're in that, Major League Baseball brings a lot of money. You see how much these guys, the top tier guys in single A ball, get paid. So I think it should only be a domino effect, and it's been long enough. It's been long enough for these guys to be able to not have to spend they're fresh. A lot of these guys are fresh out of high school. So when you telling them that they still have to go live at home or they have to spend a lot of their check to go get an apartment and roommate and all that kind of stuff, man, I think you'll get a lot better quality baseball player if you don't have that to worry about.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's leagues really copying the NCAA model of exploiting talent and not necessarily wanting to pay them their just due. And that's why they want to keep it at, a semi-pro level or an amateur level versus, treating them like professionals, making sure they are able to live because they're funding your lifestyle as a league. And it's sad that in 2021 that this has to be a headline and that an organization that makes the money that they make, hundreds of millions, if not close to billions of dollars that they make, they should be able to at least have housing for these guys. So yes, this is a great first step, but surely they have much more to do.
It's interesting. That's interesting that they didn't already have housing. I wonder for like the G League and other, minor. I mean, I guess there isn't any other minor league systems besides, because football doesn't have a minor league system. I mean, it's college football. So that's really interesting that baseball didn't have that. You would think baseball, out of all the sports, would have it. I mean, I guess you have hockey as well. They have a minor league system, but strange.
Yeah, and they could even have buy some apartments. Just you have them, and whenever the guy's called up, he's no longer living there. Like, and just have those set, 15, 20 apartments at an apartment complex that give you a good rate, and just let it be.
They used to do that for the Comets. When I lived up north, they had apartments kind of set aside for the what's the indoor soccer team that's here.
The Comets. The indoor soccer
Comets.
league.
Yeah, they did. They kind of had a rate for them. I do remember that. But yeah, that's wild to think about that they're paying out of pocket.
Now the NHL hands Evander Kane 21-game suspension for submitting fake vaccine card.
Hit the button. Hit the button. Hit
the
button.
Dummy.
And who knows that 21-game suspension might end up in seasons long because of the felony. So, he might have to spend some time away. So it just shows the stupidity, like,
Yeah, and here's the thing too. It's you are I had to look up his age because I didn't know much about him. And it's very rare we get to talk hockey, right? Unless it's the playoffs or the Stanley Cup winner. We rarely talk about hockey. And so when we get to talk about hockey, we want to really talk about hockey, not a guy who has been suspended for an illegal offense. Like you showed who told you to do this. First of all, you're 30 years old. I thought when this story came out, he was 24, 25. No, he's 30, old enough to know better. And then I we don't always want to talk about race, but we
got to keep it real.
You are a black male in a white dominated sport. Come on, bro. Like you gotta think better than that. Use your brain. Come on. It's not many black guys that play hockey. Right.
Not many at all.
So you always got to be on your P's and Q's. Like you're going to be put under a microscope, put it to you that way in layman's terms.
Yeah.
Right. So you got to make sure everything is on a straight and narrow.
I want to see his browser history for his vaccine research.
Now, Coach Ed Orgeron, LSU parting ways after 2021 season.
This is crazy. This is really crazy
Hilarious.
Because he's a winning coach. Like he's put a lot of guys in the league, and for them to part ways like this. Now I understand one of the stories that came out was. He had I guess some of his girlfriends that he was dating.
Too many girlfriends.
He would allow their kids to come and practice with the football team.
You can't mix business and pleasure when it comes to stuff like that. You can't.
Come on, bro.
As one of the highest paid state employees, college football coaches get away with way too much, and this is a microscope on that type of unregulated actions. Like they don't get any of the backlash. You look at Bobby Petrino when he was in Arkansas or Louisville when he crashed on his motorcycle with his mistress, and his wife finds out because he has life-threatening injuries, and he's back coaching in the NCAA. So again, a lot of these coaches really get away with a lot of things, and you look at the privilege that they have to get away with it.
And here's another thing, and I want to go right back to friend of the show, Adam Garcia, who said that's a lie. Go look at the players' tweets. These guys are going to stick up for their coach as well, whether it was a lie, whether it's true. It's all allegations right now, but you never hear any of his former players. Like we hear Tyrann Mathieu talk a lot because he went to LSU. We hear him talk a lot about Coach O and the type of man that he was, and that helps him get through, even his troubles at LSU. We hear Odell Beckham Jr. talk about LSU all the time. Jarvis Landry, all those guys who are now in the league say that he's a great man and he's a great father figure as well. So, whether it's a lie or whether it's true, whatever he did, the school doesn't like it.
So, how long has he been there? Because I'm under the impression that Les Miles was the coach for those guys. So I'm wondering how long was Coach
Les
over
Miles
there?
Was the coach. Yeah, Les Miles was a coach for those guys. But you look at a lot of guys, especially in those organizations like that, they go back a lot and work with.
Okay.
I mean, not only just the young guys that are coming in, but I mean also just serve as mentors for the team. So yeah, they definitely have interactions with him, during the season and off season, just being a part of that program.
So, and because he kind of came out of nowhere, and they kind of won the championship a couple years ago. That's so strange that it just kind of is fleeting like that. Like he was. I feel like he was only the head coach there for a couple years, and then boom, this happens. Not to mention
he was interim. He was interim head coach at USC, I think, like back in 2013. And he was defensive line coach from 2015 to I think 2016 for LSU, and then he became head coach.
The head coach. Okay, yeah. I got you. He got caught with the classic side chick picture. I don't know if y'all seen that picture.
Oh, we saw it. We saw it. Yeah.
Oh man, but he was smiling. He wasn't like caught off guard. He was like, he smiled in the camera. I was like, oh man, he's in the sauce, man. He's in the sauce.
Did he say maybe the Chiefs need him? No, the Chiefs do not.
No.
I mean, that defensive line is looking kind of shaky. I mean,
yeah. But no. I don't know about that.
The Chiefs don't need to hire any questionable coaches after Britt Reed.
Oh man, that's tough.
We're gonna take a quick break. Coming up, we'll have our Hate It or Love It segment. Kick it off with our Sneakers of the Week. This is the W Show. We'll be right back.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Come spin with us, Kansas City. KC We Spin 360 is the coolest 360 video spinner experience for events. KC We Spin 360 is taking it to the next level. The 360 video spinner platform rental will be the life of the party. Everyone will be talking about their 360 video experience while bragging about it on their social media pages. The captivating slow motion and reverse effects will have your guests feeling like celebrities. The KC We Spin 360 video spinner can capture slow-mo videos, GIFs, and boomerangs from every angle. Specializing in corporate events, weddings, social gatherings, bar bat mitzvahs, school events, and fundraisers, KC We Spin 360 can be found online at KCWeSpin360.com. Come spin with us, Kansas City.
Don't be depressed, frustrated, or stressed because of the loss of a loved one. Golden Gate Funeral and Cremation Services is here to assist you with a smooth, stress-free transition. It doesn't matter how your loved one transitioned, we will offer you a memorable celebration to your liking. We are a family-friendly, full-service funeral home right here in the heart of the city, offering affordable cremations and package pricing and quality service. Call us when you need us. 816-231-GATE. That's 816-231-4283. There's only one Golden Gate, located at 2800 East 18th Street, Kansas City, Missouri. Exchanging your grief for a golden experience.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live. It's that time for Love It or Hate It.
Hate it.
If we love it, we talk about it. If we hate it, we move on.
Starting off the sneakers of the week, we have the Nike LeBron 19s. You guys to start.
I like them just because they're. I don't normally like LeBron's shoes, or LeBron for that matter, but I like these. These are all right. These are all right. I like the lime green. All right, you like that was funny, huh? No.
No, that was the good one. That was a good one. I didn't expect you to say that.
Slid that one in there on y'all.
Yeah, no, I rock with it. I rock with it. I do too. I like him too, though. I mean, I don't think I'll ever hoop in any LeBron's other than his early iterations. But I mean, he's got a cool color to him.
Yeah, I always like when he has like the South Beach vibes. You know, the greens and the pinks and sky blue. Yeah,
I'm with it there. I'm with it.
My personal favorite is the Barkley Nike Air Trainer 3.
I ain't gonna lie, these are hot.
I love these.
These are
hot.
Very
reminiscent of these are very reminiscent of the Charles Barkley's in what was it, 93, 94?
The CB4s? Yep.
Yeah, these are. What was Bo Jackson's shoe called back in the day? What was his shoe called?
The trainer. Trainer.
Yeah.
It was like
Bo Jackson.
Because I thought he had a Nike Air Trainer. Like it was like a 1 or 2 or something like that. So, these are dope though. These are dope. I would actually buy these.
Bo Jackson and Andre Agassi both had shoes like that in the early 90s as well. The cross trainers.
Yeah.
They were called the Nike Air Trainer SC High. Bo Jackson.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Nike Dunk High Cashmeres.
Like these. Love them.
Easter vibes. Easter vibes.
Yeah, I really like these.
Not a fan.
Yeah, these are nice.
Wow. The Nike Dunk Low Halloweens.
I
love these because they glow in the dark.
Yeah, I was going to say, I can tell. I can tell.
Yeah. So like the brown, along the brown, they have like these silhouette, like they turn green. So lights off, they have like little ghosts in the background and Nike signs. Pretty dope, honestly.
Now, the New Era cap announces collaboration with Off-White. Hate it or love it.
Boo.
I like it from an artistic stance, but the holes in the hat, functionally,
I'm not feeling it, man.
I like it. I like the rugged look. I like the holes. I like, it's like holes in the jeans. Like same type of concept. Very different, but I mean, it's Off-White. I can't get excited about Off-White too much.
The chunk out of the hat you can just add the chunk back, maybe distress it in other ways, but having the whole chunk out of the hat is strange.
For sure. Yeah. Like on the bill, I need the whole, but you can tatter the rest of it.
That's what I'm saying. You can do other things with it, but I mean, artistic. It's art. It's subjective.
What's it called, Jazz?
Yeah.
That the bill?
You said tatter. You said tatter the rest of it.
Yeah.
There it is. You know that you got to know these terms.
I said distress. Distress is the same thing.
But yeah, no, I don't like it at all, especially for $265. Nah, not good.
Oh no.
Then there's that.
No. So again, I can't get excited about Off-White. Hated it.
No, sir. No, sir. No, ma'am. No, sir. None of that. None.
The best college basketball court in America is at an HBCU. Hate it or love it.
Shout out Paul Quinn. I almost went to this school when out of high school. I did not know that their court was this dope, but it's good to see Paul Quinn back as an actual player, because people should. It's a good school. It's a good school, and I did not know that they had this. This is the best one in America. So
Hold on real quick.
Oh, wow.
Richard Perilla, who's keeping us on the airways each and every week. We appreciate him. But he came on here and said the holes in the hat looks like you got your head blown off and survived. What a tough guy gimmick.
We don't like the hats. We don't like them.
Man, a friend of the show, Adam Garcia, he sent me this story, man. He's a Texas native, just like yourself. No, he said Oak Cliff. That's my hood.
It's pretty close to the cliff. It is pretty. It we're not gonna say it's in the best area of the city,
but yeah,
it's dope.
This court is nice, man. It's really dope. I'm really feeling this.
Mm-hmm.
LA County wants Vanessa Bryant to undergo psychiatric exam. Hate it or love it?
Hate it.
Hate it.
One of the worst things I've ever heard of. This woman's husband died, and you want her? Come on, I don't even have nothing to say to that.
Yeah, and the thing about it as well is like, how can you tell someone how they feel? The police officer, showed those pictures to impress a woman at a bar, and you don't feel like, and the pictures went viral after that, so you don't feel like that's going to be cause her spouse emotional distress. Come on, man. Come on, LA. And not only that, as well, the city of LA loved Kobe. That most of them still do. So why? It's when money is involved, that's when stuff like this happens.
Ex-football coach plans to sue Washington State University over firing due to refusing COVID vaccine. Hate it or love it?
You big dummy.
Yeah.
Hate it.
Come on, man.
What are you doing?
Do the rules. If the school is requesting him to get vaccinated, he either steps down or he takes a leave of absence.
We need psychiatric exams for these people that are giving up these $1 million jobs just to not be vaccinated.
Yeah, it doesn't quite make sense to me.
It's millions of dollars. This is like life-changing money. So I'll get off my pedestal. I'm done.
Yeah.
NFL player had bad dinner. Hate it or love it?
Hate it.
I hate it because I actually want to try Eminem's restaurant. Like,
and not mom's spaghetti.
Yeah, so he came on and asked Twitter, what's Detroit known for food wise? And so later on that day, or Sunday, this was Saturday. So Sunday he came on and the guy on Twitter said Jackson Carman just threw up on the field. And then he came on after the game and said we would not recommend eating mom's spaghetti when you go visit Detroit. All bad.
That's all you can say about that.
Ugly. RG3 saw someone beating him a Baylor's pregame student run and then turned on the jet so he wouldn't get beat. Hate it or love it?
I love it.
This is so RG3 though.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, returning to Baylor University to run the Baylor line is Heisman Trophy winner RG3.
That man covered ground.
Did you see his closeout speed though? Like,
yeah, no, it was crazy. Maybe he should have played cornerback because that was amazing.
First of all, the dude cheated, and then RG3 was like, "Hold on, wait a minute, I'm supposed to be leading this race."
Got caught up in the moment.
Yeah.
Dak Prescott wears his "Ask for Help" wrist tape to promote mental health awareness.
I love it.
I love it. He's also has some T-shirts that he's putting out for mental health awareness. So I think it's a good deal.
It is.
And especially in a male sport, because I know, of course, with tennis, we've talked about it a lot this year, and the women that have been speaking out and not participating in those things and stepping out because of mental health. But I'm glad that it's being on the forefront for men as well. I'd love to see that.
Exactly. And you see a lot of these football guys as well that are talking about it more. People are actually bringing it out and not being, keeping it to themselves or hiding from it. So I think it's dope.
For sure. Malcolm Jenkins, invest in soccer. Hate it or love it.
I love it. Use your money wisely, man.
Exactly. Who's he investing in?
New Orleans Saints defensive back Malcolm Jenkins becomes the latest active athlete to invest in world football and the football club of the English Premier League.
Yeah, that's smart. That's smart. That's money that's never gonna go away.
For sure.
Yep.
NCAA task force recommends removing minimum standardized test scores in effort to advance racial equity.
I love it.
I love that, man. I think when you have test scores really don't, unless you're going to be like a doctor or a lawyer or something in a specific field, you shouldn't have to test for it. Like, to know your knowledge, you can learn it as you go.
Exactly. Now, even the playing field, no pun intended, for some of these kids who didn't have the resources coming up. So this is great.
Yeah, because I don't think I tested good well. My ACT score, well, I think I got I tried and got like a 20, 19 or 20 or something like that. And I saw a lot of people that were getting like 21s, 25s, bright flights. So it really doesn't matter what your test score is. It's shown. People that haven't even gone to college that have become billionaire owners of stuff.
And that test is not like it's off the wall. Like random questions, like when would I ever know this or need to?
I haven't used it since, but I enjoy testing. I enjoyed those tests. I'm not gonna lie to you. I actually enjoyed them. I didn't fret. I didn't not want to take them, but that's probably because of the environment fostered by my mother. Shout out Gail Searles. So I'll just go there. I'll just go there with it. We like learning in our house.
Oh man, another great show, y'all. We appreciate it. Yeah, that was all cap, Adam. That was all cap. With no,
I mean, he's got to know that we enjoy reading in our household. I just gotta let you know.
We appreciate everybody who joined in on today's show. Thank you as always for watching us. Remember, you can catch a rerun of our show on Mondays. 100.1 FM, 1 Kansas City Radio. Everybody have a great weekend. We are out of here.
The views and opinions expressed at the W Radio Show by the host, co-host, guests, and call-in listeners are solely the opinions and responsibility of the original source who expressed them. They do not represent the opinions of the W Show, 100.1 FM, 1 Kansas City Radio, Sideline Sports Talk, Team Wall Street Foundation, or affiliates.